Hey guys, it has been quite a bit of time wow. Thank God it's Friday. It's the first day of February, and the Midwest has been insane. If any of you have watched the news this last week, we have been in a polar vortex, which, honestly, I believe all these hype words are just complete bullshit. But that is a hot version of saying it's cold as fuck in the Midwest. Well, today the polar vortex has lifted from us momentarily. It is the Midwest and it is now February. So it has lifted and it is now almost 50 degrees outside. Compared to Wednesday when it was real feel temp with wind chills around like negative 25, 30. Ugh. I live in the Midwest. I don't live in Antarctica or at the North Pole. I did not sign up for Arctic weather. I signed up for all four seasons, just not Arctic. I expect it to get cold, really cold, like 0. We've had super cold days that are like 4, 8. But waking up and it being negative 8 as a air temp, not even real feel, negative 8. That is cold. So anyway, that was a good day to stay inside and do nothing more than look outside and wish longingly that it was sunny and happy again. We also got snow that day. Anywho, there's been like 100-degree difference between Monday and today. Monday we started at like 42 at 6 a.m. and then it bottomed out at negative 8 with a real feel temp, wind chills of negative 30. So literally just about 100-degree difference. That's wrong. People are like, you can't have that in one week or in just a couple days. Kansas and Missouri say, hold my beer. Or if you're in Iowa, hold my corn. So, yeah. Anyway. I don't even remember what we talked about. Hold on. Itchy nose. Sorry, y'all. So, I talked to Carla. We're not going to talk until after, let's see, I think until President's Day. Because I'm going to be gone. My schedule doesn't work this week or next week. Or the week after. And then her schedule doesn't work, so I think she's out this next week or something. I don't know. Anywho. So it just doesn't jive. It just doesn't work. So we aren't meeting till President's Day. Talked to her about my whole feelings of, am I just eating or not? Am I eating because I don't want to feel full? Or is this just part of the learning process? Then there's the whole, which she said, you just have to find out what works best for you. And you might just be one of those people that doesn't like to eat 3 large meals. You'd rather just nibble all day, which is perfectly healthy and normal. If you don't want to eat 3 big meals and a couple snacks. Maybe that's just how you work and how your body best operates. Which, with the activity I do, probably. We're figuring it out. So, the other thing I got thinking of, well, let's see, Tuesday. Tuesday was just one of those days where anxiety was high, and it was a bit much. It was to the point where I was just having kind of like a little mini breakdown, which thankfully when I go to pump every 2 hours, I at least get, half an hour to myself, max, and I can at least kind of cool down. It's been a little stressful at work with we've had our reviews, our year review, which our year review, according to my boss, he's like, this has no bearing. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Woo. My boss said has no bearing on whether you get a pay raise this year, or it has nothing to do with money. It's just to go over the year. What have we done? What have we accomplished? What do we need to work on? You know, little things like that. So it's kind of like a precursor to the good review that determines whether you get a pay raise or not. So there's that. Mine went well. He and I really said a lot of the same stuff because we had to fill something out, like answer the questions, and he had to answer the questions for us. And we pretty much all agreed. You know, his stuff pretty much sounded like mine, just worded different. And the best one, of course, was, how do you think the team morale is? Well, team morale, it's all right. It's not fantastic, but it's all right. And so, because of that, I told him, I said, well, you know, and of course he's like, no one's going to be honest about that. And I said, well, I will. Of course, I'm more comfortable being honest on paper than I am verbally saying what is on my mind, because I feel like on paper it's a little more private. I'm not scared of coworkers hearing things, accidentally seeing things, but it comes down to morale's okay. It's not great. We have 3 very different personalities. We have one lady that is like super, I mean, she is like super, what's the word I'm looking for? Passionate. She's super passionate about certain things, especially certain topics, certain processes, and that's her jam. And she will latch on and not let go. And then we've got the other lady who is passionate about stuff, but also doesn't speak up, and also thinks that everybody is out to get her. And then there's me. I am Switzerland. I am pretty neutral. I try not to rock the boat, but I also try to make my opinions known. That's hard. So I told my boss, I said, morale's good. It's not great. Clashing personalities. There's been some moments in meetings that have been super awkward, where you just want to slide out of the room. And I told him, I said, I know you know about the incident that happened with Ruth, and they've talked to you, but that was awkward. That was like super awkward and uncomfortable. I didn't want to be in that room. I said a lot of these issues could be resolved if we left feelings at the door. He admitted that that was an issue, and that he saw it, he knew about it, and that he was addressing it, and it's something we all need to work on. And I said, you know, also, I feel like I get stuck between the two. They want me to pick sides. I can't do that. I can't be, you know, this third wheel that each one thinks I have to be on their side. I mean, one of them said, well, I know your buddy was so-so. And I'm like, buddy's an overstatement. I like them as people, but I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to hang out with you outside of work. I even told my boss that. I said, you know, I like my coworkers. I really do. And it's nice to finally have coworkers I can chit-chat with. But I don't want to hang out with you people outside of work. And he laughed and he understood. So there's that. There's been that kind of stress recently with coworkers just putting me in the middle of shit that I don't want to be in the middle of. I'm not anybody's bestie. I'm not for one or the other. I know I can probably come across as a little wishy-washy at work when it comes to office politics, because I have to work with these people every day. And I don't want to rock the boat and then have one pissed off at me or completely, like, you know, have a target painted on my head. Office politics are hard. It's like fucking high school. It's stupid. So anyway, that was that. And that was stressful. I started getting a little nervous when I had to talk about that. But then I've been trying to embrace the whole intuitive eating thing, which I'm still struggling with the counting. Again, I don't have my app. I'm not able to just at the flip of a thumb look up information unless I get on Google. So in a sense, there's that, but I'm still not eating fully intuitively. Yesterday was probably the closest I did, because I really, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. I need to eat. And today I realized at like 10, I'm like, oh, I'm hungry. So I had a snack. And about 10 minutes later, I'm like, I'm still hungry. So ate my lunch. And it's now 2-ish. So I'm probably starting to get hungry, to be honest. I just don't have any more food. Well, I have food. So I guess I could eat that. I'm trying to wrap my head around the idea of not knowing how many calories I've eaten. I need to just do it. Just like the app. I really don't miss the app. I don't miss counting macros. I don't miss worrying about how many carbs I'm eating, how much fat I'm eating, how many grams of protein I'm eating. I'm not worried about it anymore, which is kind of nice. It's freeing up some space, but it's not enough. So I just need to do it. And also eat the meals prepared as they are prepared and not ditch the carbs. I tend to do that with my lunches, sometimes my dinners, because I'm still counting. I'm still tracking numbers enough that I'm like, well, I can't have the spaghetti because that'll put me over, and then I can't have this. And I like to nibble. I like to snack. So I think that's more of what it is. Maybe I just need to start meal prepping that way. Like have component and just pick and choose. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't know. Anywho, so I've been having a bit of a freak out, having a bad body image week. I did take one morning, I got up from bed and went in the bathroom and inspected my body, looked at it, touched it. You know, touched the belly, because the belly is the area. And so I tried to kind of desensitize myself a little bit in the fact that if you see it more, you are more used to it. I'm still not loving my body, but at this point I'm trying to get to a neutral where it's neither here nor there. It's just a body and it does what I need it to do. Self-love will come. I just want to also get to a point where I'm not talking about my body. I'm not even mentioning the fact that I'm having a bad body day. Granted, even that, you know, we are all, even if you are the self-love guru and body positivity guru, health at every size guru, intuitive eater, even if you're quote unquote perfect at all that, you're still going to have days where you don't feel quite like yourself or comfortable in your body. It's going to happen. So I just want to get to a point where it's not so much that I'm hating my body. It's just like, hey, I'm not super comfortable in my body today, so I'm going to do some self-care and make sure that I'm okay and find out, you know, why I'm feeling the way I feel. Let's talk about it. So I'm trying to get to those points. I'm still doing all right. Ooh, muddy, murky, gross. I'm still trying to figure out feelings, like why am I feeling anxious? Why am I feeling down and gross? And why don't I like my body right now? And honestly, right now, I can't give you an answer other than I'm uncomfortable with the idea that I'm putting weight on, that I don't look a certain way, that I don't even look like I did in my wedding pictures, you know, just random weird stuff like that. Or, you know, remembering comments of, like, I know my mom didn't mean anything by it, but it bothers me. I remember in 2014-ish, probably late 2014, buying a wedding dress. Went to a consignment store, found this gorgeous, long, kind of Marilyn Monroe-ish, but it was straight down. It wasn't flowy or anything, but it had the halter top kind of thing. It had the drop in the back, V front. I mean, it was gorgeous. And I loved it. And I remember trying it on. And I mean, I'm dressed for the weekend. I'm dressed in like yoga pants and a sweatshirt. Ugh. And my hair's all up in a mess and whatnot. And looking for wedding dresses. I remember putting this on, and it's like a satin fabric. And I remember my mom saying, suck it in. Sucking in my tummy, because my tummy stuck out a little. And I thought to myself, I think I remember telling my mom, excuse me, like, don't you remember who you're talking to here? But part of that is, now I can look back on it and realize that that's my mom and diet culture, and I never really struggled long term with being overweight. My mom has struggled with diets and being overweight and eating disorder style kind of thing. My mom's whole side of her family, everyone's always on a diet. They're doing Weight Watchers, they're doing something. So I took more after my dad's side genetically. And so I've never really had to struggle with my weight. I'm going to be on the heavier side of slim, I should say. Genetically, I am built more muscular. I carry my weight more in my middle and my hips. But I'm not built like my mom's side where it's heavy set short ladies. It's just all of them heavy set short. They've always been that way. So that's the German genetics, I think, like Bavarian German genetics. So yeah, so I think she was just kind of like wanting me to look my best. But I remember her saying that and just being like, Mom, why? Because I didn't even think anything of it when I was putting the dress on. I looked at myself and I'm like, I love this dress. I instantly fell in love with the dress. But my mom said that, and I'm just like, what? And I'm like, I can't suck it in, because really, a little bit of a tummy I did have at the time was so minimal that it's like, really, why would you even say that? I was probably in the best shape of my life. I wasn't 100% happy all the time. I mean, I still hated my body, and I was trying to change it at all costs every day of my life. So, but I mean, I can look back on that now and go, oh, yeah, that was probably a defining factor. But the way I handled it, I think, was better than I would have previously. Just internalized it and been like, oh, I need to lose weight. I was more, Mom, why? I don't remember the exact conversation. I just remember me questioning why she would say something like that. And I lost my gloves. Just realized I probably dropped my gloves at Hy-Vee. Oh well, they were the cheapies. Nothing fancy. I'm not worried about it. So, it's been anxiety week. Fear week. Trying to overcome. Been journaling a lot. I do recommend that, getting it out of your head and on paper. And I do plan to talk to Carla. But on the other side of that, we're going to the beach in 2 weeks. And I'm terrified of having to wear a bikini in my new post-mommy body. And not terribly looking forward to that. Because mummy tummy, to me, I'm trying to embrace neutrality with my body for that. So I guess that's another factor, is that we're going to Mexico and I have to wear a bikini, but my husband says, remember, these people don't know you and don't care. So, if you have some thoughts, positive words, something, I gotta go back into the office. Hit me up in the comments.